Welcome to the first episode of The Face of Finance. I am your host, Ryan Roi.
And I'm Thomai Roi.
And we just got back from FinCon, where we were invited to speak on our business, which is one of our favorite things to talk about. We run a fairly big 7-figure financial coaching, business coaching program for tattoo artists. If you were at FinCon, you know that. And this is our second year at FinCon.
Yes. Yep.
And we absolutely love FinCon. So I think we're going to talk about FinCon a lot. We're probably going to have a bunch of guests on this podcast that are people that we met that are also doing incredible things with their business and primarily financial coaching, because it's such it's like the underdog of the financial service industry. And in my opinion, it is the most needed financial service of all the financial services. And so we just thought, like, wow, FinCon is really helping to change the face of finance. You have, when you think of finance, you think of Warren Buffett. Like, that's just like the face that comes to mind. And then you come to FinCon and you have people from all different backgrounds and races and creeds and colors and orientations. And this is, in my opinion, the new face of finance. And so we wanted to help shift that archetype and talk about business, talk about finance, operations, which is what we were speaking on at FinCon.
Yeah, that was a hit. That was a hit this year. I know, because last year we focused on the front end a lot, which
the first year I really just focused on like marketing, and I look at it like the things that get clients. There's a lot of things you do in your business, but they don't necessarily all get you new clients. And there's a lot of productive procrastination that happens if you're listening to this and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. What's the font on the page on the website, and the logo and the colors and all that stuff that doesn't actually get, it's a part of it, but it's not really the thing that gets you clients. So I created a game called the Lighthouse Game that if you just do these actions, and I actually posted the Lighthouse Game on our Face of Finance podcast Instagram, so check that out. And so that was how we kind of built the business. And then it's, okay, well, what do you do with all that information that you have that's running through the pipelines, and where is it going, and how is it collected, and how is it used? And so that's what we talked about this year.
Yeah, we talked a lot about just the back end of things, how it all comes together, how it's an absolute mess, craziness.
We can say it. It's a shit show.
It's a shit show.
We're going to be cursing on this podcast.
Good. Yeah, by the way, good.
Censoring anything.
All right. Broke the seal on that. Perfect.
And so, it's a crazy game. And one thing, we said on the talk is, like, you never win the game of business. There is no winning. You just don't lose. And you just keep not losing the game as long as you can. That's the best you can do, is just not lose the game of business. And hopefully it grows. And really the point we wanted to make is, one, what are the types of metrics we track and how do we use them? And we talked about leading indicators that help us predict things in the future, like revenue. And we talked about trailing indicators that help us after the fact make decisions about the future. But it is also terrifying.
Yeah. And I think too, with definitely our own experience, and I think what I'm really excited about in this podcast, interviewing people, is just everyone's different journey in their own business, their own different focus, but also how they got there. Because not everyone's journey, like, we're all doing the same thing, quote unquote, like we're all running a business, but everyone is doing it so uniquely, so just a different way. What inspired them? What are their stories? What are their experiences? What are their backgrounds? And it's not all the same. Not everyone is, is the Warren Buffett. And if you are, that's totally okay too. But going to FinCon the first year, it was amazing. We networked, we met so many people, and then coming back, it just really sank in, like, wow, there are so many different types of people, services, coaches, backgrounds here that, like, I just want to, there's not enough, those 3 days, those 4 days, just not enough time to talk to everyone.
I think we just want to extend FinCon.
We just kind of want to extend FinCon. That's really what we're doing.
We're lonely and jet lagged.
Please.
And we just wish that FinCon would keep going. And so we're sitting in front of our camera.
Pleading.
Talking to ourselves. Anyone else feel that way?
I have my if you're watching this or listen, I have my FinCon shirt on.
Nice.
Not on purpose. It's just what happened. This is what was clean. But it's fine.
And I like what you're saying, like everyone's reason, everyone's story, and we identify as money nerds at FinCon, which we all are in our own way, and then we all have our own reason. But I think some people would think like, oh, you just like making money? Like, what is it? And the truth is, I don't think anyone at FinCon is there simply because they like making money. And that's not the reason they are a money nerd, that they geek out on it. But they, in my experience, I'll speak for myself, I saw, coming from an artist background as a tattoo artist, resisting the topic of money for so long, I eventually was like, well, why do I resist it? And what would happen if I didn't resist it? And I just explored it with a sense of curiosity and playfulness that I explore artwork with. What would happen if I were to do that? And it was like the gates opened up, the clouds parted, and I was like, wow, there's this whole world, like this topic that we call money, this symbol, this word, these numbers on a screen and this paper is a game that when I learned to play that game, it impacts every other area of my life. It impacts my relationships. It impacts my art. It impacts my health. And so I think that's what drives people to become a financial coach. And hopefully, I think even advisors and CPAs and all, but particularly coaches that focus on the practical, the tangible, but also the intangible mindset relationship with money. I think that's what excites that's what I saw in the people at FinCon that were either starting their financial coaching business. So many people came up to us. They're like, hey, I'm about to start my business, and hearing your talk was so if any of y'all are watching this, we just want to take a moment to thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We had in all different backgrounds too. Like we had a project manager come up to us in the airport that was like, I love what it's particularly around ops, but like, I love what you were doing, and I'm transitioning into the space that I want to go into coaching. And then we had so many other people with so many other backgrounds, some personal stories. Like they're not officially like a CPA doing this thing. They just said, hey, we had this experience. We ran into a bunch of debt, and then we figured out how to get out of it, and we'd like to help you too. And it's so inspirational how people get, inspired by everyone coming together at FinCon and doing the thing and really pursuing the thing around money. And then, like you get into this much deeper level of like, not just paying off debt or saving or you get into this whole relationship.
There's a magic behind it all.
Yeah.
There's a magic behind every person that got on stage and spoke passionately about whether it was their business or the business of coaching or whatever their topic was. There's a real magic that happens at FinCon. And I think FinCon's they're creating a container for that magic to express itself. But I want to see more of that on this podcast. We want to talk about the nitty gritty. We want to share the wins, what's working for us in our business. I want to do some more episodes on the beginning stages of like just getting that first client or those first two clients. I absolutely want to share everything that I can to help anyone who's at that stage of their journey. And then every stage through, because if you aren't familiar with our story, like we went from $0 in revenue to over $1 million in revenue in about 3 years, which is just mind-boggling. And we've made so many mistakes. So I teach after growing the financial coaching business. Then I got into marketing education for tattoo artists. And something I tell all the tattooers that I work with is, the only difference between you and me is that I've made way more mistakes than you've made. And that's it. So we want to share that. We want to share all the good, the bad, the ugly, because we just like talking about the game of business. Yeah.
It is. It absolutely is. And the crazy thing too is like, I think people going into business, they think, they need to do it perfectly. It needs to look this way. And if they run into this problem or they go down this path, like they've fucked up, they've messed up. And that's not true. It's like you said, you never win the game of business. You just don't lose. And that's just what it is. It's part of the process. And I'd love to talk about our process and our path and hear about everyone else's too, because it's hard. It's just hard. It's all it is, and no matter what dollar amount your revenue is at, it's always going to be hard, but in a really good way. In a really, really good
and
way.
we take inspiration. Some of the people that inspire us. One, Alex Ramosi. I'm a huge fan. If you don't follow him or have read any of his books, he's amazing at that.
From an ops perspective, Layla here. So
yeah, someone came out to us and they were like, "Oh my god, I love the Alex and Layla vibe."
Yeah, and I'm like, also, that's a great compliment. Thank you.
And yeah, it absolutely is. And then I'll also just do a shout out for Barrett Brooks, who we met at FinCon last year. He was the COO of Kit, formerly ConvertKit, now Kit. He helped them scale from 3 million to 30 million, and he has a very different approach to growing a business that is a lot more centered internally, doing the internal work. And I'm inspired by all of that stuff. And so
he's incredible. We had coffee. It was just an incredible conversation. If you're lucky enough and you ever have the opportunity to talk to Barrett, I 10 out of 10 recommend. He's an incredible individual. He really is.
Absolutely. So this being the first episode, I think maybe we just do a little bit of a quick, we want to like what are we here to talk about? But like some people don't know our story. Some people do. Some people know our story and they want to hear it again.
Yeah.
So
it's a good story.
And we'll probably share it again on other episodes.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah, I was a tattoo artist and I owned a business and I thought about financial coaching for maybe about 2 years. But I was busy tattooing and I just kind of thought like, well, someone should do this. Someone needs to help these people because I was a mess with my money until I slowly but surely took me maybe 6 years to like figure it out in a way that worked for me. And then COVID happened, closed my studio. And that's when I was just like, all right, this is my chance. I'm never going to have another opportunity where I literally can't tattoo. I'd been tattooing for maybe 12 years or something at the time. And I was like, I'm going to become a financial coach. And I just poured everything in and I was making sure the font on my website and the logo and the name and the things. And, I was heavily avoiding making content in the beginning, which you might find surprising because I make so much content on Instagram and YouTube now. But no, it was really terrifying in the beginning. And a little pro tip that helped me in the beginning, I saw a YouTube video about someone talking about getting comfortable in front of the camera. And they said, set up a tripod in your kitchen and cook some eggs and pretend you're on a cooking show and just hit record and talk to the camera and just have a good... I was like, hey, what's up? I'm Ryan and I'm here to make some eggs. And I was just being ridiculous with it. But it helped take the edge off of the whole experience of once you hit record, it's like your brain fogs up. And it helped me get comfortable. So if anyone's just, I definitely do it. And please let us know in the comments if you take me up on that offer to go cook your own money food show. I don't know what that's going to be, but try it out. Let me know how it goes.
I'd watch it. I like all those things.
So I'm like making content. You're just struggling and you're putting in 10 units of energy and you're getting back like 0 or 1. It feels like you're just pushing this boulder up a hill and the ground beneath you is just sliding and you feel lost. And I'm not going to lie, like there were nights where I cried myself to sleep because I felt not only so alone and confused and unsure if I'm doing anything that I'm doing is going to ever amount to anything. But I also felt very like no one in my life at the time really understood why I was doing what I was doing. They're like, you have this whole career as a tattoo artist. Why are you doing? My ex-wife at the time did not understand why I was doing this. And I just felt very alone and like I'm doing a lot and it's not going anywhere. And so if you feel that is step 1 to building a business.
I had an identical situation.
Well, share
So for myself, like, talk about like circuitous paths. You're a tattoo artist. I'm a pharmacist by trade. And so that's where I started. And I did corporate for a while. And then, the whole family thing came, the whole kids thing came. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to be a mom. And I went and I did that for a bit. And then just like the business bug stuck. So I jumped into entrepreneur land and I was there for like 10 years. And
would you say in the talk you're like six failed businesses, 3 burnouts?
Well, not that many failed businesses, but I certainly had some. I was in like 6 industries. I had 3 burnouts, and I had 1 7-figure business. So like the funnel, if we're talking about funnels, that's the funnel of entrepreneurship. So, and yeah, I similarly had a really rough personal support system. You know, people don't understand.
We're going to talk about kids. We're going to talk about divorce.
Yes,
we're just going to talk about all of it on this show because that's who we are and that's what we have to talk about.
Absolutely, from the people that are like kind of supposed to be the closest ones to you are like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
And so it was so difficult, and I attribute a lot of it to the burnout and everything. But they were great lessons because everything is perfectly orchestrated and it leads you to this spot. So, you know, no regrets. But with that said, it doesn't make it any easier. So yeah, by the time I finally got to the point, you know, 3 burnouts and 10 years later, I was up at like 1 a.m. on a Friday night. I had a fractional COO. I like consulting. I loved operational consulting. And so part of the thing was I started with consulting and then I was like, I'm going to do this. Fractional is a fancy word for part-time. Fractional COO business, and we're going to help out other startups, and we'll figure out their operations. And I was looking for clients, and one of the ways I was looking for clients was I'd go on LinkedIn and I'd search the job listings for anyone looking for a part-time COO, like literally just putting it out there. I need someone to do this exact thing that you offer, and I found your job listing for a part-time COO at an ungodly time that I shouldn't have been awake at all, but I was. So here we are, because that's what you do at an entrepreneur.
And obviously, by the time I was looking for a COO, so I'll even backtrack a little bit for that. I, you know, got my first client, second client, 10th client. I built this one-on-one business, and then it got to the point where like, all right, I need to do group coaching because I can't manage all of the clients one-on-one anymore, at least not the way I was doing it, and I wanted to scale. So I had gotten to the point where the business was doing about $30,000 a month in revenue. And I reached out to this guy, Mike Taylor, shout out to Mike Taylor, who was a professional skateboarder turned private equity investor. I was a tattoo artist turned financial advisor and then financial coach. And I reached out to him. I was just like, hey, if you have any advice on where do I go from here? You know, so another big thing is just reach out to people. Just shoot them a DM. You have no idea. Most of them won't get back to you, but honestly, I think you're going to be surprised at the people that do. And I didn't expect him to get back to me, but he did. I was like, I'll pay you for your time. He's like, I'm running for city council of something in California. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, just donate to my campaign and I will gladly spend some time with you. And I was like, great. So we hopped on a call. And we talked about the business. He gave me some helpful perspective, and he told me to hire a COO. And I would have never done that, ever. I never in a million years would have thought that was something I needed. I just thought maybe I needed another assistant. But he's like, no, you need someone to build the scaffolding that you can use to build your vision. You're the visionary, but you're not good at the whole system structure scaffolding part of it. Hire someone to help you with that. And so I had made this job listing. And I didn't even realize, like she told me years later, she was like, yeah, it seemed like you had no idea how to write job listing at all.
It was very passion fueled. It was a lot of information, which was why it was intriguing. That's why, I mean, it was perfectly written.
You clearly had no idea what you were doing, and I realized you needed my help badly.
That's fascinating. I'm applying to this. This is...
And it was like, I want to help artists with their money and da-da-da-da. The whole vision.
A tidbit about myself too, like way a long time ago, but ancient history is that like when I was looking at colleges, it was either art school or pharmacy school. So when I heard someone was trying to help artists with their own business, I'm like, this couldn't be more perfectly aligned. And I even shared like drawings with you in my...
I think you did. Yeah.
In my job, I just attached drawings that I had done. So it was perfect. It was chaotic.
I think you were the only application that came with drawings.
No way.
And I was like, oh, that's amazing. That's so cool. And so, you know, I interviewed a bunch of people, and the only thing I could say is that there was a feeling when I spoke with Thomai. I was like, I just like the way I feel when I'm talking to her. And I'm a very gut-oriented person. If there's a gut feeling about something, I'm 9 out of 10 times going to go with it. I'm never disappointed. It's always the time that I don't go with my gut that I'm disappointed. And so we'd started to work together, and I called her my business therapist because I would just... I was new to this thing and I was going through this divorce, and like simultaneously the business that I had always wanted to, never knew I wanted, but was having this success. And then personally, my life was completely falling apart. It was this wild time to be alive. Fucking fascinating.
Fucking fascinating. If you came to our talk, you will know that our mantra.
That's really what you're known for. Is
all
just,
right.
That's fucking fascinating.
Maybe one day we'll have merch and the shirts will just say, fucking fascinating.
And mine was, stop overthinking it, just fucking do it. I'm just action oriented. And so she would just, slowly learning about the business and this and that. And I didn't really know what to do with a COO other than like, all right, here's all this stuff. Help.
It's just like, just bring it. We're doing it. It's going to be fine.
She was very like motivated. Like, this is great. You're doing a great job.
We got it.
I just needed that moral support. And I felt very seen. I was like, okay, I felt like a mess and I could just tell her. And she made me feel like I'm not that much of a mess. Like, this is normal. And I think, God, I think that's so needed when you're running a business, is you think that you're trying to look like you got your shit together on the outside, but on the inside you feel like everything's a dumpster fire. And then have someone say, no, that's not a dumpster fire. That's normal. That's that was like super helpful.
So like, and I think too, the burnouts that I had, like I just totally relate to it. And I always say burnout, and it's just like such a nice, like little packaged term, like I burnt out with a bow on it. But the reality is of like the months leading up to it, the exhaustion, and then the 2 a.m. dumpster fire of me crying at my desk, deleting things rampantly. Like that was the first time. And the other times were a little more put together, but still. But still, it's just like you have these moments, these existential moments of what the fuck do I do now? What did I get myself into? What the fuck am I doing? And what the fuck do I do now? I swear a lot. So it's just, when we were starting, we'd have those conversations of like, I don't know.
And we were hiring people. I didn't know how to hire. I didn't know how to deal with compensation. I didn't know how. We had no SOPs. It was just, and part of our maybe we'll share a clip of the video from the talk, the Saving Private Ryan. It was like, in an ideal world, your business just everything's organized and flows. But like the reality is, it's like boots on the ground at Normandy, and there's shots going over your head, and someone's blowing up over there, and you're yelling, and you're like, "Where is the thing?" And you're
can't get into the meeting.
You're disoriented all the time, and you're trying to find some organization in the chaos, and that's what business is like.
It is.
And so we had worked together for maybe about a year and a half, and then Thomai was like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm going through a divorce. It's not going to affect my work, but I just wanted to let you know professionally, you're my boss. Like, and up to this point, there was absolutely nothing going on between us at all whatsoever. She was a lovely woman that lived 3 hours away in Rhode Island. We worked together virtually. We'd met one time in person, and I was like, I'm happy to help. I was like, I just went through a divorce. If you ever want to talk.
And this could maybe like be its own episode in of itself, but it's just like, I think for what it's worth, if it's helpful for anyone out there, it was a difficult time, just like yours was a difficult time. Mine was a difficult time. And I had finally found that with working with Ryan and the team, there was just something about it where it's like, these people get it. I'm working with a group of people that get it. They understand. And it was just so incredibly helpful when I shared that news. And you were like, if you ever need to talk. And I was like, yes, I've never gotten divorced. I have no idea what I'm doing. And there's so many times where we just
You were married for 15 years,
I was married for 15 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I was married for, I think, 5 years or something like that before. But so we would work throughout the day, and then we would just like talk a couple times, and then a couple more times, and then we would talk a long time, and then we would talk every day for a long time, and it was just sort of every night. And then like one time we were like, I wonder what our
this is a totally normal work conversation, by the way.
Astrological work compatibility is from a professional standpoint.
Just purely professional.
Purely professional. And
that's how you sounded.
That's how I do. I'm just curious.
That's how I sounded.
What is our astrological compatibility for a professional organization?
For science.
And then and then what it said was, because I'm a Virgo, she's a Taurus. It was like sometimes you can't tell the difference between a work there, whether you can't tell if they're working or they're playing or they're having a personal conversation or work. It's blended perfectly. And we're like, well, that's fucking fascinating.
That's fucking fascinating, Ryan.
And so then it was shortly after that we were having some late night talk, and I was just like, we're flirting. We're flirting. You know that, right?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, is that okay?
Yeah. It's literally how it went.
It was terrifying.
It was.
Because we had these employees and we were running a big business and all these clients, and it's like, this will either be the absolute worst decision that I ever made in my entire life and burn everything that I built to the ground, or it will be the absolute greatest decision and it will be the thing, the catalyst that creates the growth and the excitement and the life that I want. And it was the 50-50 shot.
Yeah, when we think of the optics,
the coin.
it's just like, oh my God, you're doing what? And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
And, if you, I would say not historically in my life, but like historically in the world of business, that's usually the beginning of the end.
Yeah, right. It's not a common happening and or outcome. I mean, that's why I think we go so like Alex and Layla about it. It's just like, it works. It works.
We were just like, we're either going to make this work and it's going to be amazing, or we're going to go out in glorious flames, burning flames of glory.
Yes.
Either way, it was going to be a dope story.
It's going to be a dope ass story. So.
And, we were like, how do we we were talking about our employees, like the kids. We're like, how do we tell the kids?
How do we tell the kids? Yeah.
Not our actual kids. That was going to come later.
Oh, that was a whole, we'll talk about it. It's a whole other.
But how do we tell? And we have our assistant coach, Chloe, who we love and adore. And she's just such an amazing, oh my God, we have all these amazing A players on our team. And
so lucky.
We'll do a whole episode on like hiring and firing and that topic. And she was so happy for us. She was just like, oh my God, guys, it's so cute.
She was so happy. Yeah, she was all for it. She's like, that's great.
And then we told our sales rep, who's probably like the other really important person in our organization that we needed to let know. And Andres and I we're like brothers at this point. I mean, at that point we were really close, but now we've,
He's incredible as well.
Amazing sales rep and,
as a person,
and coach, training people around sales. So good. But we were on a Zoom call and I was like, you have a minute? We're just hanging out. Just one quick thing I just got to tell you is that Thomai and I we're together now.
And it was like angry dad energy. It was just like disappointed, not even angry, just disappointed. Like,
yeah, it was like you just told your dad, and your dad's just like,
I see.
And then like shortly he was like, Ryan, can I talk to you privately real quick? And Thomai was like, yeah, no problem. She just like hopped on the Zoom call. Never you leave a Zoom meeting so quick. And we just talked for a little while, and he shared his concerns, and I shared where I was coming from, and I totally understand where he was coming from. I was not mad with him for having that reaction at all, and
I'm glad he came to you with all of that.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad, and I'm glad that we have culture, and we talked a lot about culture at FinCon and how operations leads to culture, but. Yeah, I'm glad we have the ability to have those kinds of conversations with our people openly and honestly. Everyone's opinion is valued and important. And, we were just like, all right, well, let's see where this goes. And it has so far, it's been about a year and a half since then.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, yeah. I know. Time flies.
Time flies. It feels like it's been forever.
It's been right. It's a beautiful feeling to be like, I can't believe it's only.
But we were flying back from FinCon on an airplane, and we had 3 seats. We had a space in between us, and she's on one end working on Airtable automations to capture all the information that I throw over the fence that gets caught and distributed. I'm working on a funnel to, get more people in the door, and we're just like, we didn't even talk on the plane.
No, we didn't. We used the center table as just like
snacks and drinks. And we were just we both had headphones on, we were just in the zone. And we occasionally, oh my God, I just did this thing.
I figured it out.
The automation. And I was like, check out this funnels, but like beyond that, we basically didn't talk at all. We were just like in the zone, and it feels so incredible to have. We're both so good at what we do, and it's like this. We are the superpower that we were hoping it would turn out to be.
Yeah.
So it all worked out.
Yeah.
There's still time. No.
For anyone just listening, I gave him a look.
I get to build a business with my best friend.
I was going to say, like, what an incredible... I was talking to someone about this at FinCon, too, because they also do things with their husband and their partner, and it's just like, what an incredible opportunity to not just be married to your best friend and do life with your best friend, but to do these projects. I mean, there are very few things in life that will push you, not only as an individual, but at your relationship as well. One of those is kids, and we both got them. So there's immediately that. And then on top of that, there's a business. It's not just like, we're doing our own thing and then we come back at 5:00 and have dinner together. Like, it is day in, day out. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing. I laugh because I actually just said this a few days ago too, where I was like, it's so funny how like we have normal relationship things come up, as any couple does, but they come up in the most, like, in hindsight, hilarious ways, because they come up through the business, like they're business related things. And it's rather than I'd be like, Ryan, what do you think about these curtains? Which has also happened. And he's very supportive. And usually he's like, I like them. But now,
whatever you say, babe.
Whatever you say. But there was this one time, it was just like we were working on our presentation. I don't know, it was pulling information and data. And I wasn't pulling it the way that he had envisioned, but it's what clicked for me, and it's fine. But I totally agree with him.
What did I say?
And you just looked at it, and you're like, "That's not helpful." And I looked at you, and I'm like, "I disagree." I had to breathe. I was like, "I disagree."
I was like, the way you're presenting that information isn't useful.
This isn't useful. Yes.
I was just said it. Like,
just go.
I can be very when I'm in business mode, like there's no emotion. I'm not softening anything. The way you're presenting the information isn't useful.
And I know this about, and we could both be like this, but I know this about him, and so I just breathed. I was like, I disagree. But how would you like the data?
You always have this like weird narrative going on. I was like, I had no idea how close to death I came in that.
Did you really just say that? You really?
So, we have all our slogans, but our marriage and business slogan is same team.
Yeah.
And
always.
It's on the inside of my wedding ring. And that's the thing that we just say to each other constantly during any and all situations where, because that's going to come up. Yeah. Like there's going to be friction, there's going to be triggers. And it's just this constant reminder, like, hey, we're on the same team. Mm-hmm. We are working towards all the same goals. So, like, let's just constantly have that reminder that that's where we're coming from. And, man, if you have business partners or marriages or partners in general and anything like that slogan right there has just helped us.
It's, like, immediately grounding.
Yeah.
It's immediate. It just reminds you. It's like, oh, yeah, we're on the same team. We're doing this together. We're coming at this together.
And the information isn't presented in a useful way, but we're on the same team.
But we're on the same team, and I can disagree while being on the same team.
We were joking about using it in like bad ways to be like, so look, same team, but that looks like garbage.
But that looks like garbage. Same team? But we gotta trash all of it. It was a horrible thing.
But you're doing it wrong.
But you're doing it
Same
wrong.
team, but...
So we don't...
We don't use it that way.
We don't use it that way. We do not use it that way. But we joke about using it that way.
You have to have humor. And I think that's the other thing that there will be a lot of on this podcast is lots of humor. You have to laugh. You have to laugh at life, at the insanity, sometimes, the chaos. Maybe even particularly when it's the most stressful and the most like seemingly it's charged. It feels really big feelings.
It's a
big feeling.
It's a big feeling right there. Yeah. No, but it's true. It's overwhelming. It's crushing. It's all the big feelings.
Yeah. And you gotta laugh at it.
You absolutely do. Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to stop our first episode of this series. And we're going to be reaching out to a bunch of people that we met at FinCon to talk about their business, big, small. We want to talk to them all. We want to capture all these different stages of primarily, I'd say, financial coaching businesses. Like that's what we do. But other businesses, we want to change the face of finance. We want you and anyone who's listening, maybe there's people that aren't financial coaches that listen to this, that just resonate with like, let's change whatever we think of the whole idea of finance. It has been this boring, dusty, old, stiff topic, and that's just not actually what it is. And we want to unveil and reveal what it actually is. It's this juicy, exciting, joyful, self-expressed playground of a topic, and that is the face of finance. So with that,
I think that summed it up perfectly.
That's it. See you next time.
Bye.